following audio outlines one of our service users' experience of domestic abuse. It contains details around domestic abuse and mental health. Details have been changed to protect our service user. This is such a powerful story in every sense, and we hope it will play a small part in helping people reclaim themselves and their lives. If you are seeking support, please visit lgbt.foundation/domestic abuse or call our helpline on 0345 3 30 30 30. This had now escalated to a more coercive control relationship due to not wanting to be on the streets. The only saving grace is that we were no longer living together, so therefore the violence was no longer an everyday occurrence, and the verbal and emotional abuse was mainly over the phone and social media, which they used to keep tabs on me, even going so far as to hack me to see who I was talking to and reading any conversations I was having. Not living together ended up being what really helped change my mind. Because of this small change, I was able to somewhat see a life for myself. So I worked very hard to get myself back into work, socialising with other people, earning money for myself for the first time in a long time, just constantly looking at the goalpost ahead, for me, which was freedom. At this point, I was in somewhat of a false sense of security, so much so that I let my guard down and went on a night out, for the first time in a very long time. I ended up bumping into them, and that night ended up being a big turning point. They attacked me again that night, the worst they had in all the years. Without going into too much detail, I ended up off work for 8 weeks due to the severity of the injuries and the mental trauma it caused. I knew then, never mind not being able to live together, I couldn't even live in the same city as them. I just didn't feel safe. I gave up everything I had. My dog, my furniture, my house and my job, and got the hell out of there. Which is where my story should end. Unfortunately, I moved before we entered our first national lockdown. Due to isolation, loneliness, fear and anxiety, they managed to manipulate their way back in, knowing they still had power over me. With no other friends to talk to, no one else to help me get through what had been a hard time for all. This was especially heightened as a member of the shielded community. I literally couldn't leave the house for over a year. On the other side of the pandemic, I was a completely different person. Like everyone, lockdown was a struggle for me for several reasons. A big one for me was the thought that I had lost nearly 10 years of my life to abuse, and then essentially another 2 to the pandemic. The hopes of moving away to a new city, finding new friends, a new life away from them completely shattered. But it gave me a determination that it couldn't continue. I couldn't keep putting my life on hold. So throughout the pandemic, I knuckled down, got some savings behind me, and then relocated back home, hoping this would be a safe environment for me. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but I remained strong. They got into my home, but they didn't get into my head. The last time I saw them, they were calling me all the names under the sun and told me to die. I blocked them immediately and sought help, hoping and praying I got more help than last time I was in this position. And for the first time in what felt like 10 years, I was able to say I did get help.